Carla, if you would please take roll.
John Aaron.
Here.
Mark Arnold. Whitney Hall.
Here.
Cody Haney.
Here.
Marvin Kusick.
Here.
Eddie Mack.
Here.
Cole Ream.
Here.
John Roberts. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Carla. I hereby call this regularly scheduled meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is to consider the approval of the minutes of the regular Metropolitan Area Planning Commission meeting of August 15th, 2016. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at those? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. I have a second. Motion and a second to approve the minutes as printed. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that motion carries. The next item on the agenda is to consider and take action with respect to a resolution recommending the city of Enid, Oklahoma, through its mayor and board of commissioners, terminate the tax increment district number 2, city of Enid, which was the Oklahoma Ethanol Economic Development Project Plan.
Mr. Chairman, Jared Davison, our attorney, is here to address the commission on this item.
Okay?
Good evening. My name is Jared Davidson. I'm with the Public Finance Law Group down in Oklahoma City. I think you probably have met my partner Nate Ellis, who has been intimately involved with this project, but he was unavoidably detained on another TIF project tonight. The three items that you have before you are just termination items relative to previously authorized and approved project plans by the city, 2 ethanol projects, and of course the North Star Agri Facilities project. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
If nobody has any questions, do I hear a motion for item number 1?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second to approve item number 1, which is to terminate the tax increment district number 2. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that motion carries. And we'll just go on through these?
Yeah, that's
Okay. Item number 2 is to consider and take action with respect to a resolution recommending the city of Enid, Oklahoma, through its mayor and board of commissioners, terminate the tax increment district number 3, city of Enid, which is the Orion Ethanol Economic Development Project Plan. If there's no questions on that, do I hear a motion? So moved. I have a motion? Second. And a second? Motion and a second to approve the termination of that one. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that one, the termination is passed. Item number 3 is to consider and take action with respect to a resolution recommending the city of Enid, Oklahoma, through its mayor and board of commissioners, terminate tax increment district number 6, city of Enid, which was the North Star Canola project. Any questions on that? Motions?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. And a second. Motion and a second has been made to terminate tax increment district number 6. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries. Okay. Do you want to talk about number 4? You want me to introduce it first?
Yeah, go ahead and introduce.
Okay. Number 4 is to consider and take action with respect to a resolution recommending that the city of Enid, through its mayor and board of commissioners, create a tax increment district and approve the 66th Street Improvement Project.
Yeah, again, my name is Jared Davidson, and we've been working with the city and the tax increment review committee relative to the TP&L tax increment district project. Also behind me is Lisa Powell, so if you have any real technical questions, I'll hand it over to her. But also, Cole Ream has been on that committee. Basically what has been proposed is a 10-year TIF with a maximum expiration of December 31 of 2026. That would roughly equate to approximately $1 million of generated ad valorem tax that would go straight back to the city as a portion of the cost to help offset an industrial grade road to be constructed along 66th. There are some additional funds that are also contemplated, including a $500,000 contribution from TP&L itself, and then as well as an economic development grant in the amount of approximately $1.2 million. Also as part of the TIF is an incentive relative to the inventory. Basically, what is happening is it's such a large facility, and you have to have such lead time for the construction of wind farms and wind projects that many components have to be ordered years in advance prior to construction and placing. And so basically, in Oklahoma, the ad valorem tax rules require that that inventory be captured and put and assessed on the tax rolls. The contemplated process is that since that inventory is going to be at that facility for a long time, similar to what oil and gas producers are able to do, we envision stacking that, which basically means that the assessed valuation will only be 20% of that valuation that's generated. 65% of that inventory incentive will be returned back to TP&L to help keep their cost and incentivize additional suppliers of wind farm projects and stuff to park their inventory here at the Enid facility, hopefully allowing that facility to grow. And then 35% of that incentive will be returned directly to the other ad valorem taxing jurisdictions here in Garfield County. So that would be the county, the VOTEC, the health department, the city, and Pioneer Pleasant Vale schools. Over the balance, what's contemplated is essentially it'd be approximately about a $10 million incentive back to TP&L, and the direct beneficiaries or the ad valorem taxing jurisdictions would receive approximately $5 million in increased revenue that they wouldn't normally see as part of the project. So I'm happy to answer any further questions. If you have any, there is one other specific, the incentive back to the city is strictly on the ad valorem basis, and that's what we would capture revenues and stuff from to repay the road or the road improvements. The way that it's set up in the project plan is that the city would get the greater of $100,000 a year or the actual property taxes generated in that facility. So right now, at a $6.2 million investment that's sitting out there right now, that generates about $66,500 of incentive a year, and the city would get the $100,000 as is contemplated right now. If there was additional development out there to add to the ad valorem base and that number were to go higher, the city could potentially receive more than $100,000 a year.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Questions? I will entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second. I have a motion to approve and a second. That is to approve the 66th Street Improvement Project Tax Increment District. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move into section number 4, which is zoning. Consider a rezoning for lots 1 through 12, replat of Block 3, Murphy's, and beginning at a point 850 feet south and 30 feet east of the northwest corner of the southeast quarter of Section 6, Township 22 North, Range 6, west of the Indian Meridian, thence east 420 feet, thence south 140.9 feet, thence west 420 feet, thence north 140.9 feet to the point of beginning, which is located at 212 West Birch for Enid Public Schools, from special use district to R7 residential multifamily district. Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Most of us in the room and in the community would recognize this as the Harrison School site. That's what this is. It is no longer being used for a school by the Enid Public School System. A developer has approached them and they're interested in purchasing this property, and if the rezoning is approved by the City Commission, they'll proceed to develop affordable senior housing in this facility. The developers are in the room if you have specific questions of them. If not, that's okay. Staff has sent out the appropriate notices within 300 feet. The applicant has sent out the required notices to everybody within a quarter of a mile because it is seeking R7 multifamily rezoning. We have had many calls but have received no protest. The calls were in the nature of what's going on, and when I told them, they were very supportive. It's staff's recommendation to recommend to the Mayor and Board of Commissioners approval. Are there any questions?
No one has any questions. Do I have a motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the rezoning, and I'm not going to read it all. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Those opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. The next item is use by review. We have none. Item 6 is plats. 6.1 is to consider a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners for the final plat of Bridge Creek Addition, Blocks 9 and 10, located in part of the northwest quarter and northeast quarter, Section 21, Township 23 North, Range 7 west of the Indian Meridian, Garfield County. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the Bridge Creek development. It is just outside, located in Garfield County, just outside the Enid city limits. It's on the south side of 45. And the blue area in the diagram is the additional lots that are being platted. My next slide actually shows you those 4 lots. They're extending the road. All of the lots meet the requirements for the county. It's recommended for approval.
Okay, any questions for Chris on this one?
I have a question. Who's going to service the water and sewer? Is the city doing that?
Both will be private according to the application. So they'll probably be drilling their own private water well, and they'll be providing their own septic for sewer.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Any other questions? Motions?
Motion to approve.
I got 2 of them here. Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Okay, a motion and a second to approve item number 6.1. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries. Item 6.2 is to consider a recommendation to the Mayor and Board of Commissioners for the final plat of Bell Crossing Second Edition, Blocks 1, 2, 3, and 4, located in part of the northeast quarter, Section 35, Township 23 North, Range West, Indian Meridian. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The area of the plat is outlined in yellow next to the existing plat. In the aerial photo, you can see some of the lots have been built on. The new proposed plat will include 33 lots. My next slide gives you a picture of how they're going to lay out the roads to surface those lots. My engineering department has completed their review, and there are some items that we're still working with the developer, and I'm going to have Robert talk to you a little bit about that. I think our ultimate recommendation to you tonight will be to recommend approval contingent that the engineering items are addressed. And once those are successfully addressed, then we will forward it to the City Commission, who will ultimately is the governing body that approves plats. Robert?
Thank you. Chairman and Commissioners, we have reviewed the plat, and there are some areas of deficiency that needs to be addressed. A couple areas. One of them is on easements. They have a number of easements shown as 16-foot easements. Here, and on the south side, but they have some easements that are shown 16 foot. The ordinance requires 20-foot easement when they provide easements on both sides, 16 foot when you can only provide on one side. There's also concern that they show a right-of-way of 60 feet on Cleveland and Purdue. The ordinance requires 70 foot of right-of-way in the ordinance currently, so that is a shortcoming. The other problem on the plat is they don't call that out as right-of-way. If you see here, it's shown, but it's not called out. They need to clarify that that's being dedicated to right-of-way. May seem like a minor thing, but important on a plat. Another issue is on their radiuses at the roadways. This plat, as you can see, has some roadways with the radiuses provided in the right-of-way, but it also has several others that there's no radius on those corner lots, which makes it difficult for getting utilities around. Those are main things of concern of technical nature. The other issue I want to point out is this plat is adding 34 lots to the existing subdivision of 17 lots, developing about 50 lots off of one single access off of Cleveland Street and one single access for the water. So the Planning Commission may consider where it might be appropriate for the development to provide a secondary access or the development for water and for transportation due to the number of units. That's not covered by ordinance, but it's an item just want to bring out for your attention. I believe that covers the issues.
Yeah, do you have any questions?
Just say, what is that, McLean? I can't quite read it. Lane, does that dump in?
Yes, it shows future development shows that the development would tie into Purdue at a future date in another phase. That's outside of the current plat, but yes, you are correct. So the issue is that recommend that the plat should consider that the easements comply with the city ordinance, provide 20-foot easements where appropriate, and that the right-of-way on the arterial streets be 70 feet per the city ordinance.
Robert, we haven't changed the ordinances recently, have we?
The indication of the 70-foot right-of-way has probably come into place since the original plat, but no, the easement ordinance has not changed. No, that's been in place.
Porterfield's been drawing these things for years. Does he not know?
Should know.
This is not Porterfield, this is Bergerman?
Yes, it's the Bergman Engineering.
Just to clarify that.
Yes, the easement requirements
Says
have
at
not
the bottom,
changed.
Porterfield.
Yeah, stamps on it.
Porterfield probably did the plat, that's correct, and Bergman Engineering provided the improvement plans. But yes, Porterfield and Bergman are both local.
Well, I just
firms.
wanted, I mean, we didn't change anything. I don't know why it's not right, but
That's a good point. Nothing's changed.
With the 60-foot easement, there's no underground drainage. It's going to be a problem with drainage also, isn't it?
Well, this subdivision, the improvement plans provide for taking the drainage from the north around, looking up here, taking it to around the subdivision into the south. There is some drainage that comes away. The improvement plans provide for that. And I think the right-of-way is certainly needed to provide for that improvement. But the plan does call for the drainage to be carried on the right-of-way. And with additional right-of-way, it should be appropriate.
I can't see it, but there's sidewalks in there.
The improvement plans has sidewalks inside the subdivision, that's correct. They do not have a plan for sidewalks on arterial, or Purdue or Cleveland in their plans. But they have sidewalks on the subdivision, that's correct, inside. Yeah, they provide the improvement plans for the water and the sewer and the sidewalks.
Is the developer aware of your concerns, and have you had any conversations with him regarding it?
I provided my concerns to the engineer on the 15th, and I haven't heard a response back from him. I did attempt to call the developer today, but he wasn't available.
What's the advantage of approving now versus when it's done properly to approve it then?
The advantage is, I think the advantage is that those, for the developer, that he just take care of those issues before it goes to the city commission, and you don't have to rehear it. That's the only advantage I see.
He's got a lot of hair on that, so give him an opportunity. It's not out of order. I would make a motion to table this to allow the developer to go ahead and we don't have one or two issues. We've got a half a dozen, and I think it'd be better for Bergerman and him or whoever it is and you to have those conversations. So I'm going to make a motion to table it for now.
I'll second that.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to table the issue until the developer can get with the city. All those in favor of the table? Aye. Those opposed? And that motion is tabled.
Thank you.
Okay, we have no site plans. We've got 3 lot splits. First one is 8.1, which is consider a lot split for J. Herzog and Sons Incorporated, located in part of the northeast quarter, section 15, Township 22 North, Range 7 west of the Indian Meridian. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Oakwood Malls approached the city of Enid, and they're requesting a lot split. This one is McDonald's. It's outlined in the yellow box. When we look at a lot split, we want to make sure the new lot has access to road, water, and sewer. You can see there on the slide that the green is the sewer and Garrett, and the water is there as well. And to solve access to the road, the mall, as they have always done on the other lot splits that we've approved along Garrett, is provide an access to those businesses along their access ring road around the mall. It's recommended for approval.
Okay, any questions for Chris? Motions?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second to approve the first lot split. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that's unanimous. Item 2 is to consider a lot split, excuse me, for J. Herzog and Son Incorporated, located in part of the northeast quarter, section 15, Township 22, Range 7 west of the Indian Meridian.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The same comments for the Pizza Hut lot as it was for the McDonald's. We have access to road, water, and sewer, and we have the access easement on the mall ring road.
Is the, I believe that's an IHOP in between, is that already its own?
That was split probably 10 to 12 years ago. Yes, sir.
Stuff is spun off out there in front, so.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve that one.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve item number 2. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that's unanimous. Item number 3 is to consider a lot split for Mike Long, located in the southeast quarter of Section 2, Township 22 North, Range 8 west of the Indian Meridian. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is on Hobart, just north of Chestnut. There's the survey that breaks it out. It's a 20-acre tract, and the yellow box represents 10 acres. And that's the reason, just for everybody in the room, when lot splits contain 10 or less acres, it requires the approval by the Planning Commission. There is no public water or sewer at this site. That'll all be done private water well and private septic. We do have a member from the public, Ryan Bear, who has signed up to speak on this item. Bean. Excuse me. It's okay. The N is like an R, excuse me. Do you want to say something?
Oh, I didn't, this is my first rodeo, I didn't know if I needed to speak or not, I didn't know how to representation. If they have any questions, I'll be more than willing to speak.
I assume you are for the split?
I am 100%.
Okay. Any other questions?
Move
Motion.
to approve.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed? That motion is unanimous. And the only other thing we have is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We're adjourned.
23:45, good job.
6:20.